Hello and welcome to this masterclass. I'm Mia Sines and this is Lori Montry, and you're here at this beautiful time with us. We're talking about overcoming the three tips, the three blocks to finding love. So we're going to give you the tips on how to get through those blocks.
Absolutely. So
And
I hope this time is just a space for you. You've carved out this hour to be with us, and you've got, your distractions are put away. Maybe you've got some paper, some pencil, hopefully. We'd love to see you on camera if that's something you feel comfortable with, because we always love to interact with you, and that makes us it makes it a more enjoyable experience, and also we can kind of give better feedback and things like that. So awesome.
Screen share. Here we go.
Yeah. Like Mia said, we're overcoming the top three blocks of finding love. We're going to stop sabotaging your desire to find real lasting love and unlock your future relationship now. Mia, would you read this for us? This is such a beautiful quote. It's one of the best ones I've ever seen. And
I love these quotes in here. Yes.
Yeah.
Your task is not to seek love, but merely to seek and to find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. Rumi. Very lovely.
Absolutely.
One of my favorites too.
Yeah. So, and really that's what, that's what I was saying. That quote fits so perfectly what this webinar is all about, because you really are love, and love is all around you, right? Your lived experiences, the messages you have received and internalized have caused the barriers to living fully within that love and manifesting your love relationship, both with yourself and with your soulmate partner. So what we want to do here tonight is we really want to recognize these barriers, or at least start that process, right? And learn how you're going to bust through them. And that's a beautiful opportunity of growth, right? That exists for each and every one of us. So in that way, our search for love, it allows us to return to who we really are, because unless we're willing to claim that wholeness, love is going to continue to be elusive. So it's these things in life that we have, whether it's, our relationship with food, which I work with people, or, Mia works with them in their relationship with, their inner child, or whatever it is. It's like these things, these are only symptoms, right? Our inability to find that incredible relationship, our relationship with food, and all these other things are really just showing us, right? These are just pathways that we can take on our way to wholeness and growth. So this is, one of the beautiful things that we get to do when we dedicate ourselves to something that we want in our life. I want a love relationship. And so if I really want to do it right, I'm going to recognize all the ways, right, that I need to return to my wholeness in order for that to happen. And the beautiful thing is you get the relationship, but you also get more of yourself. So it's just such a win-win all the way around.
I'm not sure what's going on here. Hold on, everybody.
Cancel.
All right. I need to mute somebody here. Okay. So we've been going back and forth, and so it's my turn. You're here because you are a passionate, loving, glorious soul that wants to be deeply connected with yourself and share that life with a partner that gets you, that has your back, that supports you, that wants to bear witness to the being that you are, to share experiences, make beautiful memories, and hold space for the greatest gift that the divine offers to humankind. You're here because you want love.
Yeah, maybe, you've had a lot of disappointment in this area. A lot of people that we've talked to have closed their heart to this journey, at least for some time. And maybe you've been single for a while, don't really know where to start. The dating landscape is so different now. It's been different, right, as we use technology differently and more, but also it's very different because of post-COVID, right? COVID changed all of the ways that we used to do things, and so it's kind of like, coming into this brand new, very ever-changing landscape, right? So maybe that's your experience and you're not really sure how to navigate that right now. Maybe you have some real fears around opening your heart to another person, or maybe you don't feel like you have the time and energy to put into the search for a partner. But in short, you're really here because you have the desire to create that soul-led, connected, heart-thrilling relationship you deserve. And you want to fast track your results, right? To get on living your life with your fabulous partner. That's the goal here. Yeah.
So what you'll learn during this masterclass will reveal to you the 3 most common blocks to love and how to overcome them so that you can pave the way to a dynamic, incredible soul connection that feels fulfilling and joyful. You're going to see how the process can demystify and how it can lead to a more beautiful relationship with yourself, as well as with another divine soul.
Yeah. And I really hope you guys heard that. A divine relationship, a more divine relationship with yourself and that other person, right? Because that foundational piece of the relationship with yourself is what makes that relationship one that is truly divine, truly what we're searching for. So we really want you to stay and just make some space here for us and stay till the end of the masterclass, because we are going to show you exactly how you may have been blocking love, the roadmap that was going to take you where you want to go instead. But then we're going to share with you an amazing opportunity to take all of this information forward with you in a really profound way in our upcoming class. This is a 4-week intensive course called Ready for Divine Love Connection. It's going to lay out that path in a really concrete and very achievable way, right? Step by step by step, the most important pieces. And those of you who are here live on the masterclass, we have 2 really special bonuses for you. And those of you who are watching the replay, we have one of those special bonuses available for you. So we don't want you to miss out on any of this. So please stay till the end. You won't be sorry.
Okay. Who are Lori and Mia, and why bother listening to them? I love that.
Yeah.
So this is Lori. I introduced her in the beginning. Lori is trained as a Nuaria method instructor. This is a powerful method that involves working with your thoughts and emotions to create your reality. She is also a somatic practitioner, trauma-informed eating psychology coach, and co-founder of the Greatest You Academy. All right. She guides women powerfully on their path to self-actualization and authenticity by showing them how to connect deeply to their inner wisdom and overcome the blocks and self-imposed limitations that hold them back in all areas of life. She stands side by side with her clients as they build a strong foundation of self-love and higher guidance empowerment.
Yes, I'm so lucky to be able to do that. And this, of course, is our beautiful Mia Signs. She's a love activist and the creator of Women Making Miracles. She stands for love and supports you to do the same. Mia helps those who feel alone and yet dream of love to make love real in their lives so then they can go out and seed love into the world. Mia helps you develop yourself, develop your miracle, and finally develop your world. As a clairvoyant, Mia also helps tune into love's promise for your life and your work. Through her work as a love teacher and coach, Mia has discovered the depth of love on all levels. Working through love opens the connection so that all of life's purposes flow, which includes love, money, and abundance. So true.
Awesome. So results, by applying our teaching style and the tools and methods that we use to get results in every area of life, we've been able to teach hundreds how to intimately connect with themselves, remove the mental and emotional barriers to love, heal old wounds, and create the divinely connected love relationship that they want. Love is possible for you when you step into your truth and allow your partner to find you.
Allow your partner to find you. That's the best part, current situation right now, over 50% of adults are single. Can you believe that? Best-selling author Lisa Rankin tells us that loneliness is the #1 health problem in America. There's a lot of studies about the healthiest people in the world, and the thing that they're finding that connects them is, we used to think it was diet, but really it's social connections and true, deeply intimate relationships. And that's not to say, here we are, to build connection and soothe loneliness. The only way to do that is through a love relationship. But this is really telling, right? That as a society, we're suffering greatly from the lack of connection that is so important to our sense of well-being.
The simple truth is that we humans need one another to be well and happy in life. While we may no longer require one another for economic and physical survival, we do need one another for emotional, psychological, and spiritual well-being. We all need to feel connected, valued, cared for, and respected. These experiences don't exist in a vacuum. They exist in relationship to one another. Catherine Woodard Thomas, we all love her.
Yeah, and loneliness, it really is a choice. You know, we may not feel like it all the time, but it is. And you have the ability to overcome it by bringing love into your life from within and from without. So let's dive into these top 3 blocks, finding love, so that you can create meaningful and divine connection in your life. The hole that you're feeling, maybe feeling right now, right, can be tended to. There's things we can do. We know how to get through these blocks.
That's right. Would you like to do these since I'm going to do the client studies?
Let's do these. Yeah, this is, block number 1 is we don't always have a lot of clarity about who we are and what we want, right? The quote here is, you attract the right things when you have a sense of who you are. And that is so true. So often people tell us, well, they just kind of, it just depends on who I meet, right? And they don't have that clear roadmap, not for themselves, nor for the life that they want or the relationship. I always joke around, when you start on a journey, you need to know where you're going, right? If you say to yourself, I really want to go somewhere fantastic today. So you pack a bag, you get in your car, you start your car, and you have no idea where you're going. So you can't even pull out of the driveway. You can't even pull out of the driveway. You don't know if you're turning left or right or whatever. So you literally sit there in your car, right? And how do you imagine, after a few minutes, that's going to feel, right? You're going to feel frustrated, unfulfilled, right? You're going to get bored at some point just sitting there in your car. Pretty soon, you're probably going to doubt that you can get anywhere at all, right? Yeah, you can move on. That's why it's so very important to get clear on who you are, right? And that is in and of itself is such a beautiful journey. But what you want in a partner, what you want in a relationship, what you want in your life. If you want to go somewhere special, right, you have to have the map that's going to take you there. And I don't mean to say, you have to decide on the eye color, right, that your partner is going to have, but you do need to decide on what's truly important to you based on who you are and your values. So my point is, again, like I've been talking about, you can't have a powerful connected relationship with another person if you don't first have that powerful connected relationship with your authentic self. And sometimes we are not quite sure what that is. But when you show up as someone else in a relationship, right, you can't feel connected to the person. They can't feel connected to you, because the person that you're being and the person they're interacting with, it doesn't really exist, right? So that really isn't a way that you can get love or feel truly loved. A lot of people use their relationships, or I would say try to use their relationships, right, to validate themselves, right? I use my relationship to feel worthy. I use my relationship to bring me a sense of security or to make me happy. Now, bear with me, because what I'm going to say might make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, but this is entirely misplaced, right? We don't look to our relationships to do this for us, right? The only person you should be depending on to make you feel validated, worthy, happy, or secure is you. And guess what else? You're the best person for the job, right? Why would you want to give those responsibilities to another? Why would you want to hand over your precious soul to another person and say, you deal with her, right? You're the only one who really knows how to give yourself what you need. So it is time we all take responsibility for this beautiful job. And that's how you get to go through life feeling just really steady, feeling amazing, no matter what the other people in your life do or say. Right. And this is truly living. And it's something that's really woven into the Ready for a Divine Love Connection course, because it's just such an important foundation for going forward with somebody else. So I might hear at this point, as I often do from people, when I say, you're the one that's responsible for your feeling of safety, validation, worthiness, happiness, people will say, I don't know how to care for myself that way. How do I provide safety for myself? How do I feel worthy and validated by myself? Like it just doesn't feel the same when I try to do it, or I don't want to do that work. That's exhausting. I want to, get that from somebody else. But really, I would say, it's just that we need a little bit of help figuring out how to do it more powerfully, because we've never really been able to get that from other people, right? For many of us, we've never learned how to provide that for ourselves. And even though others aren't really that great at it and they disappoint us a lot, if we don't know how to do that for ourselves, we're going to continue to try to get that little bit, from the relationship, because a little bit is better than nothing. But when you really learn how to do that for yourself, and I mean really learn how to do it for yourself, you get to feel loved, worthy, cared for, validated, seen and heard and happy, no matter who's in your life, no matter what they're doing. And that's a really beautiful thing. A lot of our clients, they've been here for a while and they've done some really beautiful self-love work so that they can stand back and they can say, I like who I am, right? And so because they've made it that far, they think they've got that self-love game wrapped up, and that they're totally good with their self-love. But the truth is, it's only half of the self-love game. Loving who you are, appreciating who you are, is only half of the self-love game. The other half is knowing how to take care of yourself, really take care of yourself, how to provide that safety, security, attention, worthiness, expression, validation, all those things for yourself. Because this is the work that creates a divine connection with you, which is the solid foundation you can stand on in a relationship with another person. So when you learn to provide yourself with these core needs, you're ready to step into the relationship with another in a most powerful and meaningful way possible. You come into the relationship not needing the other person for your well-being. So you create a relationship that really can be divine and intimate, soulful, and truly inspiring. It's a relationship that helps you reach your fullest potential as a creator. It's not that we, would create a relationship with someone who takes away our safety, or someone who invalidates us, or someone who makes us feel unworthy. That's not the point at all. It's really more about you're not holding on to that relationship with a death grip, or putting all of your feelings, how you feel day to day and how you navigate life, in the hands of the other person. So I'm hoping that distinction for you guys, that you can see that. And if you have any questions, of course, we'd be happy to answer them at the end. So definitely, make a little note of them or whatever. But I think you guys as an audience, I think you get it. I think you understand what it means, right? And maybe you see yourself in a little bit of that. I think we all do, to some degree, see ourselves having put that on our relationships in the past, and hoping for that, right, from our partner, but also recognizing that it probably didn't serve. Next slide. Yeah, this is the kind of love that's real, right? It's sourced from within and not based on need. Just it gets to be truly enjoyed. So knowing and owning who you are, who you want to be in a relationship with another, is not as easy as making a list, right? That's not what we're saying at all. It really involves understanding what might be subconsciously blocking your ability to truthfully access your authentic self. We've been fed messages, intense messages, for a long time from every outside source around us, right? Starting with our parents and caregivers, and our peers at school, and advertising, and religion, and just from everywhere telling us who we ought to be, right? So Mia and I have spent a lot of years actually developing an intensive process for uncovering the truth of who you are, so that you can really navigate life as the powerful, resourceful, wise, intuitive person that you are. And when you act from that place, you really start to identify and magnetize the right partner for you. No more making decisions, from that place of uncertainty or scarcity mindset or unworthiness.
Okay, so I want you to meet Claire. We don't have her picture or anything, but I want you to meet Claire. She's 40, newly divorced. She had wanted to get married her whole life, and she met a man who lived in England and decided to have this whirlwind relationship, and she married him and moved to England. Within a matter of weeks, the marriage was over, and she had to come back and start all over. She was devastated. She didn't know what to do. She was, as you can imagine, she had lost her whole identity and she wanted a family. When she came to me, or us, we wanted to heal her ruptured life, as she described it, and to be happy and even date again. She tried to find herself, but she lacked the clarity. She wasn't even sure she believed anymore, and she had no idea what to do. With the first steps that Claire took in her life after this, she had to get grounded. She knew she had to do that. And so she also had to get rid of her limiting beliefs and understand who she was and what she wanted. As we began to dig deeper, she began to have clarity and make mental shifts and changes. In one of the tools in the toolboxes that we have, we offer you guys many different tools. We began with the transformational shifts in the Dream, Believe, Create process. That process is very incredible. Lori and I both have been doing it for years, but differently until we brought it together.
Slightly differently, shockingly the same.
Yeah, just like different names.
Yeah.
And what you do is you take your love relation, you take the love, you take your, sorry, I'm letting something in. You take love, which is your relationship, your spirituality, your home, your body, and your work. So the 5 pillars that mean something to us. And you identify, you get quiet, and you have to go into like a quiet process and expand, identify who you are and what's important to you. We don't give ourselves the opportunity to know what we actually want. We don't even know that it's okay to be quiet and take time and take what your spirituality is and look at it. Stretch it out. Where do you want it to go? Where do you want to be in 5 years, in 10 years, or your ultimate goal? Have you thought about that? What about your love or relationships? Is it happy? Is it peaceful? Have you found what you wanted? Look at it. Stretch it out. Do you want kids? Do you want to get married? What do you want your life to look at? Your home. Your home represents not just you, but also where you live. What do you want it to look like? Who do you want to live there? We have to look at all these to even know who we are. And it's so simple. And the body, what do we want our body to do and feel like and look like and participate in? A lot of fun things for sure. But most of us don't know how to get to the place that we want to be. So stretch your mind, expand, and also your work life. What does that look like? What does your income look like? Are you happy with it? When you expand your awareness, what you're doing is you're setting new patterns. You're starting to be aware that there's more in life out there that you really want. So as you do this, you're going to be journaling and thinking and contemplating. And before too long, you have to dream it. And as you get this into your life with you participating, imagine what it's like to be in the arms of your lover, to be held, to be kissed, to be walking on the beach, holding hands, whatever excites you, allow yourself to dream that and to believe it. And then that's where you want to actually go out and create it. If you don't have an idea that's passionate, how can you move forward? So this is how we moved Claire forward. And it was really amazing. She expanded her awareness. She actually changed jobs. She got into another relationship. She instead of having a roommate, she got her own place. What happened to Claire was she went from being trapped in a hole that she felt to expanding out and actually living life, she really began to enjoy dating. And that was a very powerful thing for someone who felt like their life was over at 40.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so much of it really does come from, this is not we have many avenues in the program that we use to really help you understand who you are. And it's important to recognize that, because sometimes we think we know exactly who we are, right? But that's who we've been. We're really good at knowing who we've been. But knowing who we really are takes a little bit more finesse, and so we've developed a lot of techniques for helping people really get down, because that's what, Claire thought she knew who she was. She thought she was someone, she trusted herself, she trusted her gut, around all of this. And it really, kind of shook her, like Mia said, because it's like, wait a minute, I can't trust myself. I don't know what I want now, and all of that. So it's a really powerful process to really connect with who you are, and then be able to live from that place. So block number 2, so many of us, we're operating instead of from that, beautiful, rich, delicious place of really knowing who we are, cleared away from all of the past that doesn't serve, and the stories that we made up, right? So many people are operating from fears and limiting beliefs. So many of the people, Mia, you can go to the next one, are sharing with us, oh, the flower doesn't dream of the bee, the flower blooms and the bee comes.
I love that so
I
much.
know, we're the flowers here.
Mhm.
We bloom, right? And when we step into our greatness, when we clear away these limiting beliefs and false ideas of who we are, who we need to be, that's how we bloom. And truly, the bee comes every time. Yeah. So most people, we're working with, they're like, oh, I don't know, I'm too old. I'm afraid to get hurt again. There's no good guys left. I'm going to lose myself in the relationship, that engulfment. I don't have the time or energy to spend on this process. What if he doesn't find me interesting, pretty, smart, or fun enough, right? That fear of rejection and the hurt of, and just the struggle of putting yourself out there and being vulnerable. Everyone has been hurt, right, in interpersonal relationships, of course. And so as we rack up these painful experiences, we really do build up varying degrees of bitterness, defensiveness. We may become increasingly needy on a relationship to fix our lives, right? Going from one to the next, or even if we're not going from one to the next, putting our life on hold and assuming, like, I'm in this pursuit. As soon as I find the relationship, then my life is going to be okay, right? And this process really begins in our childhood, when we have these hurtful interactions and dynamics. They cause us to build these walls or perceive the world through a filter, or wearing a pair of glasses, right, that we carry into our adulthood. And then these adaptations, they might cause us to be really self-protective or closed off. In our adult relationships, we sometimes resist being too vulnerable, or we use relationships to give us a false sense of safety. We may write people off too easily. I mean, the list, we can't list them all, right? Being raised by parents or caregivers who were negligent or cold, maybe it wasn't that kind of loving family or a place where you felt safe with your emotions. And it can cause people to essentially distrust when they do get affection, right? So you might feel suspicious of somebody who likes you too much, right? Because you're like, wait a minute, this isn't love. Love is supposed to look like, you ignore me and you do these things, so it can be hard to accept that when that's not the way that you have developed, a kind of a marker for what love should look like. And your mind may know that you want something bigger and something more beautiful, but this old part, these old patterns and these old beliefs that you built as a child may be standing in the way, right? Mia, we can skip to the next one. So the reasons we set ourselves up for failure, they're complex, and they often based on our own fears of intimacy. The truth is that we tend to stick with what is familiar to us, whether it's good for us or not, right? So most people have this unconscious motivation to seek out relationships that reinforce critical thoughts that they've had towards themselves, right? And so, yes, this is unpleasant. We recognize this is unpleasant. We say we don't like it, and yet we keep putting ourselves back into these patterns subconsciously because it's familiar. And that feels more comfortable than stretching out into something that's unknown. Our fears of parting with the image we developed of ourselves and starting to see ourselves in a more positive light can sometimes make us feel uneasy and trigger these self-attacking thoughts like, who do you think you are? You're not that great. This relationship is not going to last, and whatever it is. And they may cause us sometimes to hold on to relationships, right? Like I could never find anybody better, so I might as well stay here, right? Maybe that's a pattern that you've seen for yourself. But we really do. We tend to cling more to the comfortable and familiar, even when it's painful. It's, a very common thing that we see all the time, people spending their whole lives, I just want a relationship. I just want to find love. I just, in this version of it. But in fact, we find when we really dig down into their patterns that they're literally pushing love away in order to preserve, the story, the self-image, and the way they believe things should be based on what they've experienced in the past. So we do spend a lot of time diving into these limiting beliefs and patterns so we can see how they sabotage in the course. But just understand that being truly ready for love it may not be the easiest quest, right? But it is so beautiful and definitely a rewarding journey nonetheless. So it's important to fight these patterns that hold us back, right? Because if you're not 100% happy with the relationship that you have right now, then you want something different. And so it's useful and very important to go into these patterns and understand that, our defenses that we developed in order to protect us at one point, they don't actually shield ourselves from the world or keep us from getting hurt. They only steal joy and fulfillment that we're meant to enjoy. None of us are perfect. And it's true that embracing our vulnerabilities is, in order to achieve intimacy, is a true act of bravery. And that's why me and I we so value the people who show up here and are ready to be brave and courageous in doing that. But we see it all the time. You may feel, God, these patterns are so ingrained, like I don't even know what they are, let alone how am I going to overcome them. But rest assured, your brain is plastic, right? In the same way that those beliefs and patterns were born, new beliefs and patterns can also be born. So the process of overcoming the limiting beliefs for this block is, it's the awareness and the life, and often it's your life patterns that we need to dig into in order to gain that awareness. Then we're going to look at where the belief came from and the new belief you want to form instead. Then we're going to anchor that in, because you don't, and this is something that I think holds a lot of people back. They recognize all of this and they say, I know I am doing it, right? But I just keep doing it. And that's really frustrating because they feel like at the point where they understand, they should be making different choices. But it's just that we haven't anchored it in yet. We haven't wired that new belief in a way that was actually effective to create a new reality. And that can be done through, our work on the nervous system, our meditations, our parts work, our inner child work, and a powerful redoing exercise that we teach. Our own limiting belief journaling process. I mean, we have countless ways that we go about unraveling and unbelieving these beliefs that limit us. And with these new beliefs, of course, you get to create that confident, authentic, and inspired life that you really want to live.
Okay. Thank you. So now we're going to talk about Kate. When Kate first came, her fears were so daunting, literally. All she could say is, I carry so much shame, I'm afraid. I spent 3 different weeks with her before she actually felt like she could do the work. And it was amazing because on week 2, she really began, this is once we started working together, she really began to believe and understand that she could make these changes. And we were able to start to break through the shame. If anybody has ever had shame, it's the most embarrassing. You don't want to be seen. You can't breathe. You're afraid. It's not a way to live. And if you want to be in a relationship, you often feel like you're not going to be able to find your partner. We went and we dug really deep into the mirror work because she didn't feel she even loved herself. So she would go into the mirror for a minute or two every day and say, I love you. And she would journal her findings of what she was saying to herself so that she could go back and see the way in which she spoke to herself and change that. We also did a lot of the inner child work, because when you do the mirror work, a lot of shadow work comes up. And one of the best places to do that is in the inner child. And so she began to love even being in her own skin. She started dating. She did not get married as of yet, but she is out dating and having a great time. The most remarkable thing is, during this whole process, as she started to do her inner child work and dig really deep, she lost 46 pounds. The 46 pounds that she was so shameful about and
Yes,
embarrassed.
it was the
Just,
shame. She was
yes,
wearing it.
she was wearing it. And what can you say to somebody or about somebody's story when they can get past the shame and actually go out and begin to enjoy their life? It's the most glorious thing to get from behind the computer and then out into the real world.
Yes. Yes, so beautiful. Yeah, let's move into block number 3. This is operating from a story of impossibility. All right, the quote here, God will bring the right person into your life at the right time. Always believe that. If they're not there, God isn't finished yet. So in this third block, it's natural. It's very natural. As humans, we tend to focus on what is right in front of us, what is our present reality, what we can see and touch and feel and experience, right? And our brains tell us that's what's available to us. And that's all that's available to us, right? So we get busy dealing with whatever is in our immediate focus, our immediate world, and then we close ourselves off vibrationally to what's possible and what's actually meant for us. And this is a really, really powerless way to exist, thinking that we're just stuck with what's in our immediate presence, because what we believe is what we create, truly. Now, some people call this the law of attraction. Some people explain it based on faith, and others rely on neuroscience to explain why this statement is true, but nobody is arguing if it's true. Your thoughts create your reality. Your thoughts affect your perception of yourself, of others, of the world. So if your internal dialogue, right, and feelings are focused on the fact that you don't have the relationship you want today, guess what? You are literally creating that situation. You're going to keep living without the relationship, because whatever we focus on, we get more of. Are you focused on the lack or on what it is that you want to create? So a lot of you, have done some really beautiful, important work. You've looked into your childhood. You've looked at the issues of the past. You know what's going on, and you've been working on why you don't have the relationship that you want. And we can get stuck in that world forever. We can literally just, go down a rabbit hole and analyze and analyze and analyze and analyze. And it has its place to a certain degree, but there's some value in it. But the most important thing at some point that can be done is to take the focus off the past, put it squarely on the future, what you're wanting, what you're creating, because it's virtually possible to create something new when your focus is on what has happened in the past. You can't create new from the past. The past is informing what's in front of you right now, but that's not your future, right? So the goal is to, again, switch the focus from, running from what you've been in the past. Oh, I don't want any more of that. I don't want any more of that, right? Your focus is still on that, right? To the excitement. We want to feel excitement running toward all that you're becoming in the very, very in the present. We can't engage in our quest for love firmly anchored in the wounded and unsatisfied facts of the past. I'm going to say that again. We can't engage in the quest for love firmly anchored in the wounded and unsatisfied facts of the past. And a lot of you say at this point, we don't quite yet understand the difference between focused on the fact that I don't have what I want. That's not the same as focused on what you do want. It's not the same as that beautiful expectancy, right? That deliciousness of knowing that it's there and what you've created, what you've put out there, what you're ready for, right? Not the, oh, I really wish, I had someone right now to rub my shoulders, or, whatever it is. That's not focusing on what you want. That's actually creating more lack and loneliness. The law really is, regardless of, where you think it came from, whatever you focus on, you get, right? It's not you get what you want, you get what you're focused on. Okay. So focusing on what you want looks like knowing that your long-awaited partner could literally show up any second. It's about being fully prepared for how you want to show up to meet them. So it's about having your space ready and putting your energy into the excited and eager anticipation, right? As opposed to lamenting that you're spending another Saturday night alone. And this is where your creation comes to life. You get to create it. The joy is healthy, loving, committed union that is literally everything you want, right? So the tools we have for doing this, it's our thoughts, it's our beliefs, it's our assumptions, it's our actions, it's our choices, it's the words we speak. So me and I are, here to help guide in all of these areas so that you can tune all of these tools to the task of creating exactly what you want and just fast track so that you can actually start living it. What you believe to be true about yourself and your heart gets mirrored back to you through the world. The world sees you and treats you as you treat yourself. 100%. And this is really great news because it means you get to be in control of your experience. Yeah, we cannot doubt, right, that you can attract the right partner. You can't doubt your ability to be in a healthy relationship. You cannot doubt the contentment and ease can be yours with another person. The person you are meant to attract is no match for those doubts, right? If you've got the doubt wall or bubble up, they're not going to get through. And so as you recognize your worth and the possibilities that are available to you, you begin to see the evidence of that powerfully, right? And then you get to show up in your world that way. So hear this, right? You would not desire deep soul connection unless it was meant for you. Right? So many people are like, I want it so much, but I don't know, maybe it's just not in the cards for me. No, that's crazy, because if you want it, it means that those strong desires, that's the universe. That's how it tells us what it wants to express through us. It puts it there for us so that we can express that out into the world. So believe that if you truly desire it from your place of authenticity, it is meant for you. And that goes for everything. Everything. When you really know that this is what you want, it's meant for you. The other cool thing, right, is that you don't need to know exactly how you're going to make it happen. Yeah, we're going to lead you through steps. We're going to have you do your part, but you really don't have to work very hard. You just need to work on your energy, taking the right steps that are in front of you, and the rest is going to take care of itself with a lot of ease. And sometimes the efforting is actually what is kind of, putting up the barrier. So we 100% believe in your ability to attract your soul-led, meaningful, gorgeous relationship. And we really want you to believe in it as well. The integration that we want to offer you for overcoming this block is to write a powerful affirmation for yourself that really honors your belief that big, beautiful love is meant for you and that it's on the way right now. There's a beautiful prayer taken from the book, The Soulmate Secret by Ariel Ford, which is a great book. You'd hear all about this third block if you wanted to check that book out. But this is something like what you could write for yourself with your affirmation. It doesn't need to be a prayer. It just needs to be a statement that really connects you with that energy of what you are ready for. This one says, in this moment, I'm grateful for the healing of my heart and everything that would stop me from attracting my soulmate. In this moment, I remember that my perfect right partner is magnetizing to me. My only job is to reset in perfect awareness that my soulmate's heart is already joined with mine as I savor the waiting. And so it is. So write your own declaration of faith, right? Read it every day, at least 3 times. Post it somewhere where you can see it. Write it on every mirror in your house if that feels good. I have somebody who did that right now. She's got a basement with lots of mirrors on it. It's got red lipstick written all over it. And really just try to start feeling the joy of where you are today as you await all that's on its way. And this, like I said, this is a big part of what we're teaching in Ready for a Divine Love Connection.
Okay. The reason I picked these clients for the client stories is they were great people to work with, but there were 40, a 50-year-old, and now a 60-year-old. Most people say, oh, I'm getting too old. I can't find anyone.
No way.
I know. So here's Diane. Diane was in her 60s when she came to me, and it was amazing. Her children were grown. She was divorced. She had an idea of how she wanted to spend the next part of her life. She wanted to buy her childhood beach house, turn it into a bed and breakfast, and get married. I mean, what a perfect dream she had. And that's what she said she wanted to accomplish with me. And I said, okay, let's do it. And so when we began with all of the work that we do, but what focused and shifted her a lot was, or mostly, was the inner child and mirror work. When you look at yourself and look at these emotions that come up within the inner child, you have deep healing and you begin to associate with yourself differently. You treat yourself differently and you begin to treat the world different.
Yeah. And the world treats you different.
Mm-hmm. And within very shortly, she got the B&B, and she started with her contractors, and we were working on, as we're working on the dating stuff, we're also manifesting every step of the way of her house being created. And when she went out on dates, I sent her out to her closest town, which was an hour and a half away. She found that to be kind of difficult to have a 3-hour trip, round trip, plus the date. And she got very fearful, very worried. And I said, honey, this could be as simple as one of your contractors showing up and that being the person that you fall in love with. And as we began to dig into all of the relationship stuff, she had to do her mindset work and get very clear on what she wanted, right? Again, we're attracting without fear. And when she left the program, when she finished up, the most remarkable thing happened. She wrote me the following week and she met this amazing contractor that she really was attracted to. About a year later, I got another letter that they were getting married, and 5 years later, they've been married and happy, and they both run the bed and breakfast way out in this beach community that's, very remote in Canada. Beautiful story. It's about understanding who you are, guys, getting rid of your fears, focusing on what you want. I know that was very quick.
That one always gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. It's a beautiful story.
Yeah. So these are the top blocks. These are things that we talk about. But there's a lot more to the story. Obviously, there's a lot more to the beauty of the work. And for each one of you, maybe, it looks just a little bit different. So in response to just endless, honestly, like every day getting people saying, can you help me with, I just really feel called to start building connection in my life. I want an intimate, connected relationship. So we've been working on with people, but we also wanted to put it together in a kind of a course fashion so that people could really get in here. We've got this 4-week intensive course, Ready for a Divine Love Connection. It's all about unlocking the relationship that you've been longing for. It's in our extensive 4-week program. It gives you all the necessary education, the action steps, right? And the support to make big, beautiful love a possibility in your life. It looks like, each week we meet, there's live training sessions where we guide you through step-by-step process, all the things that we talked about today and more to understand why love has been elusive and how you can prepare yourself for that loving, lasting, soul-thrilling partner that you really want. The training sessions are recorded and you have lifetime access to them. So you can watch as many times as you like. And it's awesome because, you go through the program and then by the end, you're a different person. So you go back and you start again. And as you're listening the second time, you're like, where was I the first time for that? It sounds different. It's just different material because you're a different person. So it really is, a huge advantage to be able to access that and have it, or part of it's like, oh, I didn't need that at the time, but I remember that was in there and now I want to go back. We also have the in-depth integration workbook that is like everything that we teach you, we're going to show you how to bring it into your life and how to use it every day, how to really be engaged with the material, right? How many times have you been to a masterclass or read a book or did a course, right? And ended up, feeling really inspired during, but not nothing ever became of it in your life, right? It wasn't transformative. And that's because we have to have integration. Knowledge without integration is not useless, because knowledge is always wonderful, but it's not going to produce the kinds of changes that you're really looking for. The workbook allows you to deep dive into the change process so that at the end of the course, you haven't only acquired knowledge, you've transformed. You get access to a Ready for a Divine Love Connection exclusive Facebook group where me and I can be in there, providing support and connection, and also each other, right? As you're going through this and you're realizing things about yourself, or maybe you had an experience, something where you saw yourself breaking a pattern. Like, it's so powerful to be able to share that, and also to see other people when we're struggling, to have a place to go with these things, and to just cry together, to celebrate together, all of those things. It really does. Community makes a difference, both with respect to accountability, with respect to, support, and just keeping yourself moving in the direction that you want to go. There's also weekly meditations, right, that really help you absorb the main concept for the week and build the new neural pathways that help you get what you want. So I told you before, a lot of people think, what? I got that information and I understood why I was doing what I was doing, but then I didn't change. Well, it's because that's only the tip of the iceberg, right? Once you have that information, then you have to build the new neural pathways that support that, because you have plenty of neural pathways right now that support the past, right? But the past is not what you want more of. So you have to not only ground into your truth, know what it is that you want to believe, but then you have to anchor it in. And there's some really awesome methods and ways that we go about doing that we'll share with you. So week 1, I want to just take you through, there's 4 weeks. I want to take you through real briefly. It's about getting to know you, which was block number 1, right? Making a map to where you're going. Who are you? What are your values, strengths, your superpowers, right? And we also talk about how at some point your superpower becomes a sword against you because we take it too far. So for example, you are someone who loves to give. That's your thing. You just love to give to the people that you love. But there's a point where that goes into and it starts to hurt you because you overgive. So understanding all these things about ourselves is really, really powerful. Like Mia was saying with Claire, this was the one of the things that helped her the most, was knowing what she wanted out of life, knowing what she wanted out of a relationship, what she wanted out of a partner. So many people are out there were like, I just want to get a partner. I don't, I'll deal with the rest later. And that is that is just scarcity mindset. And it's actually drawing in people to you that are not good matches. Mm-hmm. This is not a list of questions. It involves really stripping away the layers of shoulds and ought tos so that you can get to the truth, right? The true essence of who you are, not who you've been told you should be all of your life. And it's only from this place of authenticity that you can really create that strong, healthy relationship. So many of the times, when we look at people's patterns, we understand that they have not ever shown up as themselves in a relationship. They've shown up as, different people depending on who they were with. It's kind of like that movie, Runaway Bride, where the reporter asks each of these, I don't know, maybe 8 people that Julia Roberts has left at the altar, how does she take her eggs? And the answer that they each give is how they take their eggs, because she just went along and just, how do you take your eggs? Oh, the same as you, So she didn't have her own style of eggs because she never bothered to figure it out. And if you've seen the movie, she takes a break from everybody and everything. And one of the scenes is her trying all these different egg types and deciding which one she actually likes. So we don't actually do the egg test, but there's a lot of really powerful things that we do with you so that you can understand who you are, so that you can be the source of your own worth, validation, security, and everything else that you may be looking to another person to give you. Week 2 is about preparing your mind, heart, and your physical space. So this is a lot of the energetic work that we were just talking about, because and the mental. So this is kind of a lot of the second and third blocks, because we cannot welcome someone into our lives unless we've prepared a space for them. And that means with our cleaning out our fears, our limiting beliefs, our old triggers, right? Our storytelling, all of that. We don't want to bring that into something that has the potential to be truly divine. A lot of people are trying to create a relationship, even though, they have that fear of being hurt or fear of being vulnerable or losing their independence, which they may have experienced many times in the past. So owning your confidence and beauty, and yes, every single one of you is absolutely beautiful. This is a very essential part of attracting your loving partner. Yeah, you have to let go of the resistance and distrust, right? Let go of the distrust that it's going to happen for you. Preparing your mental, emotional, and physical space must be done in order to be truly ready for divine love connection. Week 3 is, how are you going to go about getting out there? Like, that is on your mind. I know it is, right? It's a whole new world, like I was saying in the very beginning. And rather than just fumbling around in the dark, right, you can navigate it a lot more effectively with some support and guidance. And we do guide you through some of the most important steps and the tips to make you as successful as possible in connecting with people who are good matches for you, right? Not connecting with as many people as possible, because that's exhausting. It disconnects you. It's not fun at all. So this process, it can be very daunting, scary, exhausting, but that's why we're going to guide you through it. We're going to support you in being both authentic and magnetic. We also want to make sure you feel safe, and, what are the red flags I should look for? What are some of the protocols I want to think about? Not that you have to be rigid with them, but, these are the kinds of things we want to think about ahead of time. And know what's in alignment with my values, so that when you're in the moment, you can rely on that, and you're not trying to access, you're necessarily, you're in the moment intuition. It's better to have thought about some of these things. And we're also going to talk a lot about how to stay with yourself while being with another, because that's something that most women struggle with. And week 4, we're going to talk about staying in the game. So once you get out there, once you start to open yourself to these possibilities, you're going to have, triggers. There might be some form of rejection, some uncomfortable interactions, times when you want to abandon ship, right? But all of these situations are actually just opportunities for tremendous growth. So when we can see them in that light, right, they're just going to help us refine exactly what you want for your life. When you expect them, right, when we talk about them, oh yeah, we talked about that already, and I know how I'm going to handle it, right? It doesn't throw you off. And you can just deal with it in a way that feels very authentic and empowered. And that's what week 4 is all about. And there's a lot of nuances in these weeks, but I wanted to give you kind of a broad, high level view of what it is. We also want to help you understand how to stay connected to yourself while being with another. This is how you, stay in your contact with your higher self. That's how you help your intuition, or you could say maybe your man picker. That's how it functions most effectively, is when you're strongly connected with yourself, even when you start to connect with another. We also talk about, how does this look from a man's point of view? Because when you understand that, it's not that you don't act authentically, it's just that you're able to kind of understand a little bit and interact in a way that's most productive, even while you're still being very authentic to yourself. So this is for you. If, right, you've been in the dating game for a while, maybe you haven't found what you're looking for. Maybe you want a loving, lasting, soul thrilling relationship, but you don't even know where to start. Maybe you lack confidence in dating, right? You feel like you don't have the time or energy to devote to finding a mate, or you feel nervous about what the other person is thinking about you all the time, right? Or maybe you want love, you're afraid to let someone in. Maybe you don't even realize that some of these are applicable to you. You don't know what the heck you want, but you have a sense that it isn't where you are right now. Any of these things.
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm not sure why I'm not able, I just let somebody in and now I can't click the thing.
Oh. And that's okay. Yeah, I think actually that's our last slide. That's our, that's
Oh
the
yeah, that is.
overview of the actual course.
So now we have some bonuses, some signups, and some Q&A.
Yeah, yeah. So we want to tell you, just in case, because we don't want anyone to jump off. Let's see. We need a quick mute. There we go. So we understand, like, we are in this business, we understand better than anything else. We understand that resistance is such a big player, and resistance looks like this. It looks like you're here, you're like, maybe, right? You're like, wow, I can see how there's a lot of things that if I had some support and guidance around, I think I could really, move through them and feel really empowered in creating the relationship that I want. And then you go to bed tonight and you wake up in the morning, you're like, yeah, I don't really want to spend any money. Yeah, I don't really have any time right now. Yeah, I just, and we'll list, and then the resistance will show up, and your brain thinks, oh yeah, these are all very legitimate things, right? And I should listen to that. Bullshit. It's all resistance, because if you want this, there's nothing that should stand in your way, right? And so me and I recognize that, and we know how tricky the brain is, and what it likes to do. And we've heard, all the stories, and then people come back and they're like, God, I wish I hadn't waited that year or whatever to, get over my resistance. But we want to reward you guys that are here and are just ready to listen to that voice that says, hell yeah, I am doing it. I am making this a priority for me, myself, and then the relationship that I want to create. So we have for you guys who are ready to sign up within the hour. So, right around 8:30 Mountain Time. Anybody who signs up before then is going to get 2 really incredible bonuses. I'll tell you about the first one that's only available to the people who are here live and signing up within the hour. Okay, you guys are serious. You deserve something. So this is a VIP event where we're going to invite only those of you who are here. And if there's only one of you, great. We're still going to hold it because you deserve it. This is a deep dive into your patterns where you get to really, we're going to give you a little bit of work to do before, just so you can kind of start to get some familiarity, because we are going to coach you specifically on, why am I drawn to fixer-uppers? Why am I drawn to people who come on strong and then ghost me? Why am I drawn to narcissists? Why am I drawn to, and the list goes on and on and on, people, and then I find them boring later. Like all of these mysterious things, like, why do I do this? That's what we're going to dive into and really give you, at the end of that, you're going to have, this is my clear work to really look at and overcome this pattern. And it's such an important, we're going to touch on it in the class, certainly, because you've got to, it's such an important aspect. But this VIP event is going to be a chance to go much deeper. So I really encourage you, anybody who's interested in it,
Great.
Do it now, sign up now so that you can, take advantage of that. And then anybody who is either watching now here live or that watches the replay of the masterclass and signs up before midnight on Friday, that's going to be the 28th. Midnight on Friday, they get a special bonus with Mia. And Mia, I'm going to let you tell them about it. The vision board.
Yes, so I'm excited to teach. I've been teaching manifesting, creating, and using vision boards, along with teaching how to manifest during these classes. And we are going to be doing your divine love relationship vision board. And you'll have everything sent to you before what you might need. Either you're going to do it with us, with pictures you've already taken or stuff online, but we'll talk through it. It's more of a class to learn how to create and to manifest, but also we'll be talking about what you'll need and how to manifest through your vision board. these have always been very, very powerful, and people love them. They're
And
really,
I'm going to say, Mia, that I, in the, until the recent future, I was not into vision board because I'm just not, I'm not, you know, artistic, like in that way, whatever. But so I thought, okay, you know, I'm going to do all this other work and stuff like that. And it's not that it's bad that I didn't do it. It's just, I didn't think that it was going to be something as powerful as it turned out to be. It was like mind blowing, and just really did catapult what I was wanting to create. And so vision board, even if you say now, I don't know if that's for me, you know, that sounds kind of whatever. It is just, it's amazing. And I would not have really thought that for myself, but it is powerful. There's, and there's just energy in that group, in that meeting together, in that there's something about collective energy when it's brought together. And that's why I love that this is a group class, and that we're together and we're sharing, you know, experiences and understanding what's going on out there in the world, you know. I did just put up the link for
okay.
the sign up.
So we will talk about how, when we're working, how to do it, if you wanted to do it at home or whether you wanted to do it digital. The way when you do it digital, you can always have it printed off into any size you want. You can have an 11 by 20 if you want, or, you know, or even an 8 by 11, it doesn't matter. And then you can put it anywhere you want. So the thing about this is that you are making something tangible, which actually changes and brings your synapse open, and you're creating new neural pathways, and you're creating what you want in your vision board. If you've heard anything about vision boards, you will probably hear somebody's wedding dress was exactly the
Oh
one
yeah.
they had on their vision board, or a year later they had their Louis Vuitton handbag they wanted, and it's in their office with them at that moment because it was on their vision board, or a car or a house. So it's a really amazing.
Yes. And when you take the time, you know, because this comes a little bit later in the course. So you've taken the time already in week 1 to get really grounded in who you really are and your authenticity and what you really want. And so it's different when you've taken the time to do that, because maybe a Louis Vuitton handbag, like that's not something that you're, but it could be, right? It could be a symbol of something much more. So I'm not saying, you know, good or bad. I'm just saying that, you know, a lot of times when we take the time to be fully grounded in our higher self and our authenticity, that vision board looks different than what we would create, you know, just today without having done that work prior.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we could, oh, in the third thing, it's not a bonus necessarily, it kind of is, it's pretty cool. We know that, you know, you guys are, you've got girlfriends and they struggle with their relationship and wanting relationship, whatever. So we really wanted to make it accessible and for people to come and maybe do it as a something, you know, fun and a way to connect with friends too. So if you are interested and want to come with a friend, each one of you will get $75 off of the course price. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, everything Mia and I do, we know how much it goes for out there in the world, and we don't like it because we recognize that it cuts off so many people from being able to have access to real coaching and guidance. And so we always sit and really price things at a point where we're like, yeah, I think we can do that. For us, right? So this course is $447, which for me is, I'm like, I am so proud to be able to say that because I've been in things, you know, we obviously researched, these things are like, $1,500 is probably like the next up, right? For live interaction. You can buy all kinds of stuff online, just the program, right? But that's where we get stuck. We don't even finish those, right? Nobody does. I don't care what kind of program it is. Right. So having the live, the connection, the meditations, the integration work, and this is really a beautiful intensive time to, you know, build that foundation. And of course, there's continuing support after the class is over because we want to make sure you get all the way to where you want to be. But yeah, so I'd love to answer any questions. Is anybody having trouble? The link is there. You know, you can copy and paste it now. If you do want to take a little time and think about it, we're going to be sending it out by email otherwise. So if I
Which
don't
won't happen
have your
tomorrow.
email,
Mhm.
yeah, if I don't have your email for some reason and you want to receive emails and the promos and all the things, then go ahead and just message me privately in the chat, unless you don't care. You can put it into everyone or just to me. And we'll make sure to get you on there. But what questions do you guys have about either the course or something else that's on your heart? We can use the chat. You can raise your hand, whatever is more comfortable. Okay. Thank you so much. Oh,
Thank you, everyone. It was
signed
really great to have
up.
you. All righty.
Eileen signed up. She's getting
All right, Eileen.
in on the early bonuses, and those are so
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations, Eileen. That's beautiful.
Beautiful. I love it. Okay.
All right, everybody.
Well, yes, absolutely. If questions come up for you later as you think about this, we are accessible. Just reply to one of the emails, or we're through the Facebook group, Greatest You Academy. Yeah, those are great.
Join us over
Great
there.
ways.
This is another program through the Greatest You Academy, and so join the Facebook group, the Greatest You Revolution, and you'll find out about all the other groups too, that each time we come up with a new program.
Yeah. And we are always, we offer free teaching every other Tuesday. And so that's just a time to come and like get your vibration up, right? Get some inspiration, get some ideas for something that you're working through.
And that's on our Facebook group that's free. So do that, enjoy it.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much.
Okay. Beautiful.
Check the chat. All right, goodbye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.